All right, everyone. We are gathered here today for the Season 1 of the VGC League in the Olympian Draft League finals. Well, not finals. Series finale. Season finale, I should say. It's the Week 8, right before we get into the postseason and then the playoffs. And as I have mentioned, that is going to be one super stream. God damn it, I didn't fucking mute myself on fucking the phone, so you're going to hear an echo of me talking to myself. I'm not watching myself on Twitch, you are. Anyway, that being said, I am joined again by the mighty Mr. Charcoal. What is up, my friend?
Yo!
Had to hit him with the yo.
I'm feeling good.
Hell yeah. All right. So, without any further ado, let's just get fucking right into it. We had all of our matchups for the last week. There was some fucking heat, and we're ready for playoffs. It's a go.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a little. Things are gonna get very, very spicy. Sometimes a little bit silly.
That's what we're here for.
It's gonna be a blast. We got all 6 games in, which is excellent.
Oh, there's definitely some silly antics this week. There's definitely some silly antics this week.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into, and it's not me that's going last this time, guys. I actually got my fight out of the way. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right. What do we got? Borteras.
Okay, so I'll let you cover your Terras, and I'll attempt to cover for Blizzards. So I do know that Blizzard was already a lock for playoffs going into this week. So I think this week he was still going for the win. But it was a little more relaxed. So I think he went for, I could just be completely wrong. But I'm pretty sure the Terra flying on Arcaladon is for a specific strategy that he was planning on implementing. And then as far as Terra normal on Umais goes, that's probably for the Ghost immunity against Annihilate.
That makes sense. Then we can't be Rage Fisted.
Yeah. Flying on Pelipper, I feel like it's probably for
Stab Hurricane on Annihilate.
Yeah, either more Stab Hurricane, or could also be for just keeping the ground immunity, because that might I forget,
at least
if this
halving the damage from electric.
Yeah, I forget if this was something that he brought, but I think that he might have brought in something a little bit funky. So and then the Ghost on Mousehold, obviously just to ignore fighting normal type.
Right, because if he sends out Mousehold and I have Ape out, the first thing I'm gonna want to do is fucking click.
Yeah. And then same deal with Weavile, and then we got the increased stab on Vasculation Female.
So. That makes sense. So I went on the Fairy Terra just to mitigate that flying weakness, and the there was something else I needed to prep for, and now that I'm not looking at the draft, I don't remember exactly why I brought the Fairy. There was something else I was like, okay, I want Terra Fairy on this.
Could have been Dragon Pulse.
Yes, because I got 2 hit KO'd by Deep Pulse.
Oh, okay.
Even with the special defense investment that I had, so I was like, yeah, we went Terra Fairy just to mitigate that. And then Terrafire, Delphox was for stab heat wave, or flamethrower should I choose to hit it, but I didn't. The Terra Steel was for Pelipper and Weavile. And then the Grass Terra was to mitigate. It was Basque Legion and something else. It might have been Pelipper too. It might have been Pelipper, but I was either way fucked by Hurricane one way or another. Then the Terra
probably was Pelipper.
Terra Grass on Whimsicott was a mistake. I just forgot to change it. And Terra Fire on Scizor is. I have this weird thing with Scizor where I automatically default him to Fire Terra. I don't know why, but my logic I like to think is pretty sound. Fire Terra Scizor as a physical hitter, Fire Terra can't be burnt. But on the same notion, I was running Trailblaze because it gets a boost from Technician and it raises my speed. Cats, fuck off. Kemba sounds like she's being abused, but she's really just not. A cat looked at her wrong, so she decided to scream. That cat's such a pain in the ass. Anyway,
Yeah, that's fair.
So the Terrafire was because Trailblaze, Stab, and then I Terrafire. It's going to bait particularly Pokemon of the Rock, Ground, or Water variety, which that's what Trailblaze is for, boosted by Technician. So then I get a little bit of speed increase. I was running Swords Dance.
Yeah.
Can't be burned. It's just, I think it's one of the best Terra types for Scizor.
And then I mean, it also just makes it resistant to
To
its
fire.
quad.
Yep.
Its quad weakness to fire.
Yep.
And I forget if there's anything that
That's his only
Blizzard
weakness.
has. Yeah, I forget if there's anything that Blizzard has that really does it like an extreme amount of damage to fire. Or like using fire. So I think it's just like he's got Torcat, but then he could also have like a fire coverage move.
Right.
But yeah, just like those other reasons are totally valid. So
Just an easy fail safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the match. Got a Weavile and a Loomies or Volbeat lead. Send out our Balliva and Annihilate. We get an immediate Tailwind, which I don't even think I brought Whimsicott to this set or to this matchup. That taunt was huge.
Okay. Yeah, taunt into your team is definitely interesting, especially because you have both Arboliva and
Whimsicott. And I mean, even fucking, I've showcased Resto Chesto, Annihilate. I've showcased Bulk Up, Annihilate.
Mm-hmm. That was a nice Pollen Puff, by the way.
That was a very, yeah. I needed that.
It did not change a ton there, though.
But
it did not change a ton there.
Yeah, I should have gone for.
Yeah, so that taunt's really just brutal here, especially because you brought both of your support mons.
Why did I do that? I don't remember why I clicked into him. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
And then another fucking taunt, double taunt, stupid. And then my only attacking move was Solar Beam. So that's what the Terra Grass was for. It was for Solar Beam. Because I brought Mental Herb Solar Beam. Yeah, this first set is just that taunt really killed my entire fucking game plan. Game one, I had nothing to do. Tailwind goes back up. D-Pulse fucking nukes Delphox.
Yeah,
down she goes.
At this point, it's a 3v1. So
yep.
There's nothing.
And I'm locked into Solar Beam.
Yeah.
So that was game one of me getting my ass kicked.
Nice.
Blizzard played that very well. It's not that he needed to play bad anyway, but that taunt ruined my life. So yeah, well done.
Shout out to Blizzard for not using a troll Volbeat set. So
right. In game two. Go ahead.
Yeah, just because like in the past he's run like Life Do Baton Pass, which like it's not necessarily troll, but it's more like geared towards silly strategies,
antics, and buffoonery.
So, yeah, precisely. But that was some like Volbeat had a really important role in that first game, and I just wanted to.
I needed to taunt. I needed to taunt that motherfucker. Yeah.
There was not a single attacking move, but also not like there wasn't anything like every part of that Volbeat was just like completely just.
It was problematic, and it was always on board next to something that was worse than it. So it's like, why am I going to hit?
That's something that I think a lot of people underestimate, is that people will look at a threat and they will think that it's bigger than the other Pokemon on the board. And this was
prime example
where this was one of those cases where you were too focused on the Arcalodon to really see that the Volbeat was actually a massive problem.
Yep.
Because it taunted.
I did this
almost completely disabled two of your Pokemon.
I did this the week prior to against Wah, because I'd watch. Was it against Wah? Wah has the Torkoal Lilligant, right?
What?
No, that's Saline.
Saline has the
Right.
Torkoligant, Wa has the Dragon Knight,
That's what
and
it is.
the
Yep. Yeah, so
and the Amoonguss.
my fight against Saline, when he had Torkoal and Lilligant out, prior to that, Torkoal had been doing the work, but Lilligant was the fucking nuisance. So I doubled down onto the Lilligant when in reality, I needed to close combat that fucking Torkoal the turn that I nuked the Lilligant. So yeah, this is why I don't like doubles. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking for.
This is why I love doubles, because we get funky stuff like this.
This is really funky
It's
stuff.
it's fun. It's fun.
All right. Game 2. We got a Volbeat and a Bridge against a Bug and a Fox. Out comes the fish. Up goes the wind.
Good damage with the heat wave.
That burn
and the
was huge.
Not that huge because
This
because
is
it's
a special one. Yep.
But
Yeah, you're right.
getting that Volbeat out of the way was definitely good.
That muddy water fucking hurt. I'm so glad I got the helping hand off though. And then I was pissed because this fucking acrobatics, I don't think it. Oh, it didn't even matter. The hurricane went. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
I should have fucking clicked bullet punch
like
into something.
Basculation, whether it be like male or female, it just hits like a truck when it's in rain.
It does.
And especially with it, with that Terra.
With that Terra water, muddy water. God, yeah, that was
massive damage.
That was just,
that was.
There was nothing I could do. That tailwind just fucked me.
Yeah, that was there really wasn't. Like that was I don't think there was any way that you could have stopped that right there. Unless there's something that was just missing, but there was
nothing I could do. Like
really solid. That was just dominant by Blizzard.
No matter what I led with, no matter what I comboed with, I had nothing there. So very, very, very well done for Blizzard. Very well done. So that was fast. That was a turn 3 W for Blizzard.
Yeah, turn 3 is just really impressive, especially after I believe in turn 1. He lost him on, and did you lose him on? Did you lose him on turn 1?
Turn 1, yes.
Yeah, you lost Edward.
Yes, under that hurt. No, I lost 2 in turn 1 because the Delphox got hit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because that muddy water was able to do enough, right? I think.
Oh no, turn 1. It was a 1-for-1. I took down Volbeat and then
it turn 2 that it changed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like being able to KO 4 mons in 2 turns is
pretty crazy.
Is nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. So that was fun. That was my season ender, but I ended 2-6. I didn't go 1-7.
One of those wins was against me, and I'm very upset about it. But...
And I honestly think that was the best game I played all fucking season 2. Like
I'd like to say that was the worst set that I played, but I don't know. I might have played worse against Saline, but I think that.
I don't know if that was
pretty good.
That was just because Saline's team is so fucking hard. Thank you for stepping on my keyboard, Cat, and replaying the video. Thank you.
Good job, Cat.
Good job, Kimba. You're doing good things. All right, next fight is Rick versus Saline.
Yeah. Okay. So going to that, just want to preface some stuff from that. So like a lot of these games are really important as far as determining who goes to playoffs or different rankings in playoffs, especially because it's week 8.
Yep.
So in this case, Rick is like hovering on the bubble between making and missing playoffs. So winning this for Rick is really important, and he also needs to realize that if he loses, he still has a chance to make playoffs, depending on what happens later on. If he can win one game out of the 3, but if he loses both games, then he's immediately eliminated.
Yep.
So
stakes are high.
Just wanted to preface that, and then Saline is in this case is obviously fighting for that first seed, the coveted first seed, which at the start of this belonged to Wa. We will see who claims it at the end of this, but
at the time of recording. All right, let's get into it. So we have a Terra Water Rillaboom, which mitigates damage from the Torkoal, makes sense. Mitigates damage from the Arcanine, makes sense. Mitigates potential God damn it. What's the word? There's I know Gallade learns a flying type move. It's acrobatics or it's there's another one. Either way, good defensive Terra. Water makes sense. Terrifier Sylveon is a fucking menace. Always has been. Always will be.
indeed.
Pixelate, quick attack, hyper voice. It's funny shit. Terrifier Sylveon's great. This Terra Fairy on the Sneasler. I get it. Fairy Terra is just a great defensive Terra, especially when you have a weakness to when you're a fighting type. But I don't know what Fairy does here. I guess it does shut down Como. If Como wants to go for a Clanger of Scales and he Terras into it, then it's negated, and he can clap back. So that's fair.
I think that's part of it, and yeah, I mean, I think there's that's what probably the big thing. I think it definitely has some defensive properties and getting rid of some of its weaknesses and then adding a couple of resistances and obviously the dragon type immunity. So
Yep.
I think it's in this case it's definitely solid, especially because that Como is actually it's a really underrated threat.
It is.
Because I remember when I played Saline, he wiped my ass in game 2 with Como. So
oh yeah, that's what sealed the deal for me too. Like I know that Torkoal actually sealed the deal, but the
Torkoal and the Torkoal, the Lilligant, the Reuniclus has actually been going a little bit
Reuniclus has been going
crazy
in Trick Room.
But it's been going crazy in Trick Room, and then we've got the Komoa, which is just another really solid threat in this case. And I'm a little bit surprised. I was a little bit surprised to see that he didn't bring the Lilligant.
That's because he brought Leaf Blade Gallade.
Yeah, exactly. I think that he definitely.
I'm assuming that's Leaf Blade Gallade.
There wasn't as much of a use for it as in other games, so I think that makes a little bit of sense.
And then we have Terra Flying on the Crocodile. That one is okay. No, I think now I could be wrong, of course, but I think that this is one of those. It's a twofer here. It mitigates his attack, his fighting weakness, which is nice because he dies to fucking close combat. But also it's a bait Terra. Excuse me. Being a flying type, you can try to bait out electric types, which in this case he doesn't have any. But you can also attempt to bait out some rock types. In this case, he has Arcanine, and clap him back with a super effective ground move because you have the bait. This is the same kind of logic I was going for with Scizor. So I like that. I think that's a good Terra. Terra Electric on the Electabuzz. Again, I just don't know if that's just because it wasn't worth changing the Terra on. I don't know. And then Porygon, you can do whatever fucking Terra you want with Porygon. It's that I feel like he chose flying because he very specifically felt like he needed to deal with the threat of Lilligant and Como-O at the same time. So I really,
and I mean, it also works alongside Crocodile in that Crocodile can just spam Earthquake, and then it doesn't do anything to Porygon. So.
Yep. So I would have brought at least flying on the Electabuzz, right?
I think whatever could have worked. I think flying would have been pretty decent on Electabuzz. I think there could have been some switches, but I think overall that the thought process was pretty straightforward with each of those mons. So, but yeah, and then as far as Saline goes, we got a couple of standard Terras. We got fire on the Torkoal, just obviously to boost up that eruption or heat wave.
Yep.
We've got poison Komodo, which does make a good bit of sense because that takes resisted damage from
Fairy.
Fairy, which just is an absolute beast into it.
You still retain your weakness
Especially
to psychic, though. I mean, that's not really an
yeah,
issue
but
here.
in this case, psychic isn't
Not an
really
issue,
an issue
yeah.
here. Fairy is an
problem. He has the Sylveon.
Fairy is a major problem because of that Sylveon.
Yep.
So that was I think that was a solid Terra type
I agree.
thing. And then Fairy, it's pretty pretty standard, just defensive Terra.
It's a really good defensive Terra for psychic types because it mitigates the damage from bug and dark.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Then we got flying on the Arcanine because
4 times weak to ground.
Exactly. Then we got that grass type Gallade.
Leaf blade stab.
I think it makes sense. Yep. And then we've got the fighting.
Doesn't that thing learn Aura Sphere?
Type Reuniclus. Huh?
Doesn't Reuniclus learn Aura Sphere?
I want to say it does, but I think the main use could be
defensive,
just defensive, and also it can mitigate, or it might also have. I forget if it gets Focus Blast or not. I think that might be what it brings.
Let's see. Let's check Pokemon database.
But yeah, so but then aside from that, it also gets rid of that dark type weakness.
Yep.
So.
Okay, now I have to know about the Reuniclus. I mean, I'm sure I could click the fight and watch it happen, but I have to predict these things, you know? Does it learn any fighting type moves? Not naturally. It learns Hammer Arm as an evolution move for whatever fucking reason. Because that makes sense. And then it does get Drain Punch. Why does it have all these physical moves? It does learn Focus Blast and Focus Punch. So yeah, a stab Focus Blast while maintaining weaknesses or mitigating weaknesses. Very nice. Love to see it. All right. That is it from the bullshit of Terras. Let us get into the match. Charcoal, you still with me? Uh-oh.
Oh, there. Okay, there we go.
Oh, he's back. Okay, good. All right, let's get into it. What do we got for leads? We got that Sneasel lead and an Electabuzz lead facing off against a Gallade and an Arcanine. Whoo! Arcanine goes away. Out comes Indeedee, eating its seed.
So I think, yeah, that was really smart.
Hot.
That was really smart to.
He knew he was going for that fake out. Yep.
Super effective critical hit. Sad. Saw at the same time. That was pretty funny.
Nice taunt on the Indeedee. Damn, Electabuzz took a fat hit.
I think that, yeah, switching out that Indeedee was actually pretty smart because then you still have that threat of resetting up grassy terrain, or not grassy terrain, psychic terrain in the back. So we'll see.
Which he played around, pulled out the Rillaboom, that way he could get that fake out off. That was nice. Yeah. There was the Terra Flying and the Terra Water and to a Protect. Nice. Good read, Rick.
Yeah.
Bad read, Rick.
Yeah, but then nothing happens. But now both Terras are revealed. So that makes things much more interesting.
Damn, that Grassy Glide. Oh, yeah, because we just lost. Ooh. Nice. Static.
Yeah.
Until he hits Trick Room.
Intimidate doing a lot to...
Crocodile and Rillaboom. Good knock.
Well, I was mainly referring to the Gallade because it was at, I think it was at half at that point.
And there's Trick Room.
Yeah.
So many terrains.
Well,
damn, that Flare Blitz did a fucking chunk. Oh, I would have killed that Indeedee. Oh, I would have killed the Indeedee because then now you have to fight Psychic Surge still. No. He switches. Yep, I knew it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Reuniclus comes out. We'll see what this... Okay, that Rillaboom is... Oh, my God. That was close. That was close.
Oh, the Sneasler's still alive.
Yep.
Just kidding.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
All right.
Neither is that Arcanine.
Down goes Arcanine. Hell yeah. Out comes the Glade in Trick Room, so it should be fast as fuck unless it gets para-flinched. Switches out to set up the terrain again. Okay, that checks.
Yeah. I think that was mainly because now grassy terrain is no longer relevant, and then which makes grassy glide a little much less
Yep.
effective.
Now
But then it also but that double knockout was definitely really clutch.
Nice.
Especially because now it's slower,
Right.
guaranteed. So with that para from earlier.
Rick did win the
So-
game, which means he did clinch his playoff position.
No, because he guaranteed that he has a chance.
Well, yes, right, because we have the other thing that we'll get into.
If he wins the set, then he's in. But if he doesn't, then it depends on whatever happens later.
Right. I was thinking
We'll-
of the
we'll-
I was
we'll
thinking
talk
of the other one we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, we'll talk about this all later.
So, good game one. Mons are definitely close. That was a
and I mean, like, we've seen, like, I think that was pretty impressive by Rick because
Saleen's
especially
been
because
dominating.
Saleen has been absolutely, like, he's lost one set before this.
Yep.
So, granted, it was last week, I believe, but still Saleen's been extremely dominant across the board.
Oh yeah. All right, game 2. Obviously, the Terrors are the same. What do we have for leads? Sneasel lead again. Electabuzz lead again. And Didi right out the bat. And Gallade, okay? Rillaboom countering terrain. Good taunt.
Yep.
Fat Psychic. Oh, Gallade also knows Trick Room. Or has Trick Room, I should say. Ooh, shit.
Okay.
Nice. Good little chunk on. Just a little bit of damage mitigation.
And I mean, like, every bit of damage into Torkoal matters because Eruption is HP based.
Did you catch that was a
But
room
that
service
grassy-
Sylveon?
Yeah.
That was hot.
I think room service.
Oh, he lived!
Oh my god.
He lived!
But yeah.
Damn, and he's still not fucking faster than... Oh, he's faster than the Gallade. Aw, what a bastard.
Yeah.
Everything barely living this match is crazy.
Yeah. Also that room service being revolutionized by yours truly with Ditto and
That was great. Living on the
that
ones.
does a ton of damage, and that eruption probably would have killed the Sylveon if it had been for the chippies earlier.
That one random U-turn.
The one random U-turn, that one random, I forget what else it was, but
oh, I missed the Sneasel.
Every bit of damage matters into Torkoal.
Yes, it does.
Because of eruption.
Oh,
but
damn.
Yeah, and then there's just nothing you can do about that. So.
Nope, not even. Good game.
Very, very, very convincing win.
Yes.
Saleen
said, "Oh, I finally understand it now." Yeah, that was a good game. They didn't lose a single Mon that game either.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
Very convincing win.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So now this is it. This is for the beans.
So if Rick is able to win this, then he's a guaranteed lock for playoffs. So this is a very important game for him.
Sneasel and Electabuzz again. Round 3. Fight. Gallade Arcanine. Gets off an Intimidate. Fake out, flinch, taunt. Oh, he can't set Trick Room. Very nice.
That Rock Slide really does not do a ton of damage.
No, it doesn't.
And it's also good to know. It's also good to know that the Gallade is slower.
Is that double? Is that double Eviolite?
It was the slowest one. Huh?
Is that double Eviolite?
No, because the Sneasler is sashed. The
Oh,
Sneasler
right. We
is
knew that.
focus
Yeah, we knew
sash.
that. That was a stupid question.
I'm assuming the Electabuzz is Eviolite, but who knows?
Right.
Because I don't believe we've seen any knockoff.
God
Eevos.
damn it.
Yeah,
Rick, you needed a
like
Terra, dog. That's twice.
yeah, that was a really, really
Yep.
KO on that Rillaboom. So
Yep, that was
Sylveon
huge.
does manage to take down the Gallade though. So
Sneasel comes back out, but doesn't have Sash. So she's dead in the water.
and
Especially...
now fake out doesn't do anything. So
No.
follow me, bring Throat Chop right into it. I'm assuming it was going into the Arcanine just to try to go for that KO, but
Maybe.
we'll see this turn.
Did the Fire Terra matter?
Follow me still.
Nice!
Ooh, that was a really good read.
Oh, no. Oh,
That Flare Blade
no.
still is able to pick up the KO, so
Yep.
that's a little bit sad. But because it was so low.
Oh, that's so fucked. Oh, that's so fucked.
Yeah, it wouldn't have really mattered, but that was just yeah, that's a brutal way to end a game. Just not even being able to pick up another kill for the differential.
4%.
But yeah, so and then what that means is that there still is a chance. There still is a chance. For Rick to get into playoffs, but we'll talk about that a little more later when we get to our final set, which is by far the most important set of the week because it determines who makes and doesn't make playoffs.
Yep.
So,
all right, buddy. It's your turn.
Okay, so this one was fun. It's because I wanted to have a little bit of fun with this set because I saw that
I don't have it on the screen yet.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So I saw that because I'd already watched your match with Blizzard. I'd already watched replays, so I had already, and because Blizzard won, there was no possible way for me to reach top 4. And in this case, so the way that playoffs work is the top 8 teams advance to playoffs, and then the top 4, in order of what position they are, they get to pick who they face in the first round. So the first seed gets to pick between the 5th and the 8 seeds. Like anywhere between 5 through 8, they get to pick who they get to play against, and then second seed gets to pick who they play against, and then so on. So
it sucks because fourth seed doesn't have an option.
It doesn't really like 4th seed doesn't get a choice,
Nope.
but it also guarantees that that you're playing someone a lower seed than you, which is really nice.
Right.
But what that means is that the 5th through 8 seeds actually don't matter too much, like unless you just want to be a higher one, because
just to say you finish,
because they get reseeded for semis.
Mm-hmm.
So in the semifinals, the highest seed will play the lowest seed, and then the other 2 will play each other.
Yep.
No matter what. But unless you really care about that, then as long as you're anywhere between 5th through 8th, your placement between those doesn't matter. So I saw that and I was like, okay, I want to play a team that I think has a chance of winning, but I also want to have a little bit of fun with it, and I don't want to give away too much, because because this set doesn't matter for me as much as if I played WA in the playoffs, because WA was guaranteed either first or second.
Right.
And for WA, they're actually WA's actually trying to win this, because if he wins this, he's guaranteed the first seed, and if he loses, he's guaranteed the second seed.
Yep.
So by getting first seed, he's guaranteed to have his pick of the litter.
Oh yeah. Which is nice.
So yeah, so we can get into Terras if you want to go for that.
So I'll talk on his really quick.
Yeah.
So we got Terra Normal Dragonite, obviously for E-Speed. Spam the Terra Electric Dragapult is nice. We know the downside to having a Terra Electric Dragapult is it was an immediate tell. Me and Charcoal and a couple of other people were in Discord as a lot of these fights were happening because
So and like when we say that, I was just playing the game. I wasn't like listening to them at all. So
yes.
like when I saw like I was looking at his team and I was like, okay, so he's gonna have like going into it before looking at Terras or anything. I was like, okay, so I want to look at his Terra to be, and maybe that'll give me a hint as to whether it's special or physical attacking Dragapult, because it could be either.
And as soon as we saw the Terras, there was a sigh.
As soon as I saw that Terra Electric, I was like, okay, it's a special attacking Dragapult because
Thunderbolt / Thunder.
It knows either Thunder or Thunderbolt, probably Thunder because of that Politoed in the back. So.
So yeah, that was nice. And then we got Terra Electric on the Politoed to mitigate damage from grass types and flying types.
Good stuff. Good stuff to know.
Oh,
good
yeah.
Stuff to know.
Does bait ground types, which you can counter since you're a water type mon. I love multi-layered Terra types. They're so good.
Yeah.
Terra Grass on the Klefki.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was a little bit interesting.
I'm wondering if it wasn't Spore Prep.
That's what I was about to say. I think it was Spore Prep for Smeargle.
Smeargle, yep.
Because for those who don't know, Smeargle has access to almost every single move in the game. So
I am curious.
So one of the more common VGC movesets includes Spore because Smeargle is actually relatively fast. It's one of the faster Spore setters.
Yep. The Terra Steel Glamora is interesting. And the reason why I'm saying this is because throughout the season, I have noticed not one, not two, but 3 individual opponents who have decided that the answer to Glamora is a fighting type move. But it's not because the poison resists. But everyone seems to think that Glamora is weak to fighting.
Yeah.
Now with Terra Steel,
we did just get confirmation from Wa that Terra Grass on Klefki was for Sport Prep. So.
Oh shit! When did Wa join us? Oh, just now. What up?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well then, please, Wa. I'm really confused on the Terra. Steel.
Like we'll move on and stuff, but if you want, I'll mention it if he does comment that.
I like the Terra Water Quillfish. I think that helps a lot into the team. It mitigates damage from Baxcalibur. It mitigates damage
it's
from...
not Quillfish, it's Overquill.
That's what I meant. It mitigates damage from A9.
The Ice
Dragon Resist. Okay, that checks. Okay. Yeah, and I guess in a team like this, you really don't have to worry about fighting or ground. Yeah. Ground could be an issue from Baxcalibur. But you're already 4 times weak to it, so 4 times weakness versus 2 times weakness. I'll take it 2 times any day of the week. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, and it empowers Flash Cannon. Yeah, that's hot. Stab Flash Cannon's nice. Just being able to deal with A9 right away without looking. I like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
So my Terras were very interesting. So we'll cut. I'm actually gonna come back to flying and ground during the game. Because I think those are both pretty interesting. So the Terra Steel was to mitigate the poison type damage or poison and steel type damage that could be dealt into it. Which I think was pretty nice, especially seeing that
also can't be poisoned.
It obviously it can't be poisoned
unless corrosion.
Unless corrosion, which we'll get to in a little bit. But then Incineroar, I actually decided to go. So I typically run a Terra Ghost set. But in this case, I actually decided to go Terra Fairy because I was a little bit scared of that Dragapult.
That checks.
Just bonking me on the forehead with a Ghost type move.
Yep.
Especially because I already resist it once, so I'm like I don't really want to be super effective against it, especially because it's faster.
Right.
Okay, he did bring Terra Blast on Politoed, so that's also some pretty funky stuff also. But yeah, because another mon that I do tend to bring that I actually didn't bring this time was Quaquavel, so I think that could have been was probably part of that prep. Especially because Quaquavel is probably the most underrated Pokemon on my team.
And
So
Quavel does well into that team.
yeah.
Neutral into the
So
Quillfish, neutral into the super effective into the Glimora because you're a water type.
yeah,
Which also
it's a lot.
okay.
Very just goofy mon, especially because he gets both Aqua Step, which boosts his
Yeah,
speed, and Moxie which boosts his attack. So
it's really funny because
um
everything except for Dragonite resists Quaquaval if they
yeah.
Terra.
But yeah, so and then we got Steel. We got the Steel on the Masquerado, which was also just for defense. It was just defense, especially because I proteined to change into some to change out some other weaknesses. I was able to cover for some of those other ones with Terra Steel, and then Terra Dragon's just really solid.
Yes.
Defensively for Corviknight being able to get rid of its being able to turn its only 2 weaknesses into resistances, that being fire and electric. So, which I think is especially useful, seeing that we are staring directly into 2 Terra
Electric, yeah.
two Terra Electric special attackers.
Unfortunately, you
So
do gain a weakness to ice, which you did normally hit neutral.
but I wasn't too
that's not
concerned
an issue.
about.
Yeah.
That's not really an issue for me, especially looking into his team and also seeing that I've got mons that can literally just bonk ice types on the forehead, and especially because ice is it's much better for me because
you got the snow, you got the Excalibur, and the yeah.
Exactly.
No, the Terra Dragon makes sense here because I'm not sure.
Let's jump into it because we're gonna quickly see why we've got Terra Flying and Terra Ground Excalibur. Okay.
So immediate Terra.
Immediate Terra. So we've got Earthquake. We've got Earthquake Excalibur, and that's why we got the ground, because we've got the stab. And Moody's just there just because. And now watch this. So you guys are gonna have fun watching this.
Decorate.
So we got the Decorate, which just bonks everything on the forehead. And we're about to see the other interesting part about Smeargle. So the E-Speed doesn't do a ton. Ice Shard just bonks on the forehead, and then we've got
Instruct to do it again.
Instruct Smeargle so that it does it again.
Now, noted that Ice Shard nuked that Dragonite. It was not
it wasn't able to fully kill the Dragapult, but now it is.
It's dead now. Let's see.
And also, I do want to point out that the only reason that Smeargle outsped Dragapult was because it got a speed
because of Moody.
On Moody. It wouldn't. I don't think it would have made too much of a difference because I had a low Ninetales in the back, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you were hitting Ice Shard anyway, so you had priority. So Bax was gonna.
I was gonna be able to get the immediate damage in, but I wasn't gonna be able to get that second Ice Shard, which did end up killing it, because if Smeargle wasn't faster, because otherwise it hits and kills Excalibur before Smeargle is able to get the Instruct off.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, that checks.
Yeah. Okay.
So crazy game 1.
Game 2.
Dead by turn 4.
Yeah, I had a little bit of fun building this team.
Excuse me.
But yeah.
D-Knight Overquill lead against Smeargle and the Baxi Boy again.
I was like, in my head, I was like, I'd already won one game, which was already enough for me. So I was like, at first you succeed, try again.
Try the same shot twice.
I was like, I should have definitely anticipated the Terra Normal though. I think I definitely should not have just gone for the ice shard chippies.
Because it didn't do shit.
Yeah.
How crazy it would have been if we saw fucking Ironhead Klefki here. It would have been wild.
That would be really funny.
I don't think I've seen an Ironhead Klefki since Gen 6.
Also the
holy
fake out
shit.
But yeah, the fake out with went into the Clef Key instead of the Dragonite because Dragonite actually has inner focus, which just deletes the
Would have been a
effects
fucking
of
waste of a turn.
yeah. And because Dragonite can run either inner focus or multi-scale, but I knew that it was inner focus one I was assuming, and then two when the Incineroar came out because because it didn't get the stat drop, which is how I knew it was inner focus. So,
That T-Wave as you ground terrored was pretty nice.
yeah. I did kill my own Incineroar, but I wasn't really doing too much. But I do think that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
But yeah, so I believe okay. Yeah, in this case, there wasn't really anything that I could do there. I just had to just pray there.
Sad.
And then I just fake it out for the memes. So I knew there wasn't anything I could do, so
Burning Bulwark and hope that they die to burn in 13 turns.
yeah. Definitely.
Game 2 goes to Wah, which means we get to go to game 3. And I love going to game 3.
We do go to game 3. But yeah. Then game 3 for this game, the only thing that's on the line, it isn't really the only thing, but it's definitely a decent sized thing for Wah. Is if Wah wins, he gets the number 1 seed. If he loses, then Saline gets the number 1 seed and he gets the number 2 seed.
Yep.
So yeah.
But either way, thing 1 and thing 2. Congrats, guys.
Yes.
All right. Game 3. Got the Overquill lead. Alongside oh shit. It's the Poison Boys. I prepped way too hard for that. And it didn't even come.
Yeah, this is pretty funny. The Intimidate bouncing back is still doing nothing because of Clear Amulet.
And there's that
also,
toxic corrosion.
That is a corrosion Glimora, which I think is really, really funny. Especially because personally, I think that Toxic Debris would have done a lot more.
Bink!
Especially because of that.
Because you had the Iron Head up, yeah. But still, having Corviknight Toxic is huge. Yeah. I don't know if you have Roost, but it does bait Roost spam if it's just a way to get rid of it.
I actually don't think I've ran a Roost set yet.
Damn, that fucking Overquill would have been dead if it weren't for Reflect.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it would have lived at 1. Because Reflect only blocks 25% of the damage, right?
Well, true. But then there's also like the rolls and stuff. But if it was the same roll,
if it was the same roll, it would have lived at 1.
If it was the same roll, it would have lived at 1.
T-Wave onto the A9.
Unless it was rounded in a weird way.
Oh, and the Paraflinch. Fuck.
Yeah.
Sad.
Taunt makes sense.
Yeah, the toxic to get rid of Corv makes sense because otherwise he's just going to sit there.
I just wanted to get rid of the Overquill as soon as possible. So
especially knowing that I obviously didn't know it going into it, but having Brave Bird plus toxic did not work in your favor.
Yeah. But yeah, I kept getting Paraflinch, which was super annoying.
Did the Burning Bulwark land at all?
I forget.
I don't think it did because you clicked it once in one of the previous games.
I don't think it did here. No.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Another reason why I didn't bring Quaquaval was because I couldn't use Sash on it, and I ran a Choice Scarf Quaquaval once, but Focus Sash Quaquaval is just so much better. But Smeargle needs it so much more than Quaquaval does.
God damn, nice kill on that D-Knight.
Yeah.
Down goes Bax though. Klefki versus the world.
Yeah. So here there's nothing he can really do, because even though both my mons are parried, and this was.
And it sucks because you have no physical hitters, so that foul play is doing nothing.
I got a Roar Veil just to rub it in a little bit more, but And I did in fact get a decorate off, so it ended a little bit quicker. But like Klefki just does absolutely nothing.
I love how he hit foul play into the Smeargle the turn after you got the attack raise. Like you were 1 HP anyway. Yeah.
It doesn't do a difference because the moveset on Klefki, it just can't do enough. It can't do enough damage to
unfortunately
Jewel and Ninetales. But yeah, so with that, I steal the 1 seed away from Wa and give it to Saline, essentially.
You're number one in my heart, Wa. Just don't tell Saline I said that.
And it's all because of Smeargle.
What a fucking Chad.
Thank you so much, Rick, for giving that to me.
Wa said pee-pee. Pee-pee stall. Sorry, I'm a child. Good fight though. That was that was a really good fight. Yeah, especially considering Wa's team this entire season has just been.
Yeah, I think so. That was the second time that Wa's lost, and like I like that does not mean that I'm like if I do face him in playoffs, that does not mean that I'm not going to take him seriously.
Right.
Because
you didn't with Smeargle.
It's so. What? No, Smeargle's just the goat. So.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going.
We've got what?
We got
three more games.
Three more sets left. Okay, this was one that I was really excited for, personally, because we got the two goats. We got SNB and Jack. Oh wait,
that's Jack.
Yeah, we got SNB and Jack, who have a combined record of, let me double check this. They after this is over, which it doesn't matter either way, because they have a combined record of 3-13.
Yeah, we didn't do so great on the bottom of the board, guys. We'll do better next season. Me and Dallas didn't represent Colorado very well. That's
Also, you need to switch the screen.
Yep, I didn't put it on to Twitch. Thank you. Do SNB versus Jack. Boom. There we go. Now we're on the right one. All right.
Okay.
We're slowed. We're muted. Let's see these Terras.
So I think I can quickly sum up. I'm just gonna quickly go ahead and sum up Jack's Terras. He just didn't change them. They're all just the same. They're all just the same ones. So
Dallas's Terras make sense, except they also kind of confuse me. So we have the Flying Tyranitar, which obviously that makes sense. Anti-earthquake. Yep. The Terra Normal Braviary for Stab Crush Claw. It's stab.
It's stab.
But what normal type moves is Braviary gonna fucking click? Like he has Crush Claw, he has, I don't know, does he get fucking Takedown at all, or fucking, I don't know what other normal moves out. I've never used a Braviary without Crush Claw as my normal stab move, so I couldn't fucking tell you. Like I guess
I'll check that. You keep going.
Okay. Dallas doing the Rock Terra on the Rotom-Mow. Mitigates the damage from fire. I get that. Mitigates the damage from flying. I get that. Yeah. Completely gets rid of the weakness to ground because you're levitate anyway. You do leave yourself open to water though, and you are fighting a Dondozo.
Yeah,
that's an interesting
also, I did
Terra.
Just check, so he could have like Body Slam or like or he could have double.
Body
edge.
Slam is the other one. You're right.
He could have double edge also. So
that's true. If you're running Brave Bird, you might as well run double edge. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's because I'm a piece of shit and I refuse to run Defiant Braviary. I want to run Sheer Force Braviary, even though he does not have a move pool for Sheer Force. That's why I use Crush Claw. That makes sense.
Stupid.
Yeah, I know. You're talking to the guy who thinks that the best Cinderace set is Terra Normal Flame Orb Facade. Come on.
Stupid.
It's so funny though, because you don't fucking expect it. And then they Libru into a normal type, and you're like, I'm sorry, you fucking what?
Excuse
It's a good time.
me.
All right, and then we got Psychic Stab on the Gardevoir, and Steel Defensive Terra.
Steel is just solid.
Solid. It does open you up to Volcarona, but like realistically, who's going to be trying to click Fiery Dance into Salamence anyway, unless it's your only other option. Granted, actually, Volcarona against Salamence, your only option is to click Fiery Dance. What are you gonna do? Bug Buzz the Salamence? Good fucking luck. Terra Stellar. Okay.
Probably for Earthquake. Maybe I forget what it learns, but I think
Here's my issue with Terra Stellar on this Excadrill in particular. Now, this isn't a hard stat here, but I'm pretty sure that one of the only moves that this Excadrill is clicking is Earthquake. Now, I understand. Launching one big fat fucking Earthquake, nice. Nice. We like that. Earthquake's fat. But you only get to do it the once. And if you're going to keep clicking Earthquake, why wouldn't you just go Ground Terra to keep the consistent stab?
I hear it's all right, because if you want to switch it up, go for like an Iron Head or
true.
A Rocks. I think it gets Rock Slide. I might be tripping.
Yes, it does.
Or like a Rock Slide or something. It gives you some flexibility with that.
That's fair.
I think that probably makes the most sense. And it could also run Terra Blast. So shout out.
I forget. How does Terra Blast work with Stellar Terra?
So I believe it does neutral into it does. I'm pretty sure it does neutral into everything, but then does super effective into other terrestrialized mons.
Right. Okay. So I there is funky gimmicks involved with Stellar. I just haven't played with it very much.
Yeah, I want to play with it more.
Oh yeah. Wah confirmed the super effective.
Especially because I want to build a Terraptor team eventually.
Gross.
So, yeah, I know.
And then Jax Terras, we already talked about. So yeah, let's get into the fight.
Vamos.
T-Tar, Gardevoir, Trace Gardevoir? Or is it Telepathy? Dondozo eats the Tatsu.
I'm assuming it's Telepathy, because he's probably going to be spamming Earthquake.
Yeah.
Or at least eventually. Oh, that misses.
Aqua Tail misses huge. Also, no Grass Knot on Gardevoir, knowing that there's a Dondozo in front of you, is crazy. Grass Knot Gardevoir goes so fucking hard.
Double switches,
yeah.
Yeah, so see, we got like that Iron Head.
Bink! Didn't matter. Order up! Dinner is served, baby!
Yeah.
Down goes the Mence. I hate to see it. It's my favorite Pokemon. Earthquake misses. Telepathy, yep. Dondozo still... I don't... Seeing that...
I don't know why he targeted the...
It's because he thought it was going to kill. He thought it was going to kill, so he... And the thing that pisses me off is you don't even have to do that. If you double into the Dondozo and the Dondozo dies, the attack is going to redirect to the next available target.
Yeah.
That Dozo would have been dead.
I don't know if just SMB just misunderstood that or if something else, but yeah. So it just wasn't the right thing there, especially because
now Xe is dead.
Aqua Tail just demolishes the Excadrill. So
I don't know why he terrored there.
Yeah, tearing there was not the play, especially because it was so low and it gets and it gets outsped by literally everything. So.
Everything. Dazzling Gleam finishes off the Geary, dealing a good chunk of damage to the Ursaluna, too. I know it doesn't have the greatest special defense, but that's still... Yeah. It has good HP.
But being able to pick up the double KO on the turn is really nice.
Gardevoir living on the one is fucked.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know how much damage the Rock Slide would have done without it. It probably wasn't enough, but it probably was enough, but if it wasn't, then it could have been it could have gotten like a bug type move off on the crackback, so
I also
that could have been key, but
what is Expanding Force's base power? Isn't it 80? Yeah, I knew about the special attack drop. That was that yeah. Okay, good look though.
Yeah.
Is it 80?
It's 80.
Okay.
It's
So
80.
why would you click Expanding Force when you have the option to use Psychic, knowing that the only time you're going to get to use said Expanding Force is on the offset chance that terrain gets put up? That is a high risk, low reward. Like, yes, but Expanding Force doesn't do anything into the team outside of just a shit ton of damage. You have so much better coverage moves on Gardevoir. You have fucking Mystical Fire. You have, obviously, Moonblast. You have Energy Knot, or Energy Ball. You have Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt would have been fucking goated here. Obviously, it wouldn't have done shit against the Rhyperior, but Thunderbolt into Dondozo and then into Tatsugiri, I don't know. And obviously probably not the greatest idea because we have, again, 2 ground types out there. But still,
I mean,
Grass Knot.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter in the end, but yeah.
Grass Knot Gardevoir could have knocked out 4 of these Pokemon. It could have taken, obviously purely situational here, but it could have taken out Ursaluna, could have taken out Rhyperior. It would have hit neutral into Tatsugiri, but he's fucking squishy, and it would have dealt a shit ton of damage to fucking Dozo. I don't know why the fuck he didn't bring that. That's just me. Anyways, game 2.
Keep in mind, combined they're 3 and 13.
I know.
So.
Oh, I can give this shit to Dallas. I've been playing Pokemon with this motherfucker for over a decade. He should know better. Granted, I should know better too, and I've made some questionable plays, but I also don't play doubles, and he does.
I was about to say, if you take all 3 of your records combined, it's about
5 and 19.
Yep.
That 2 matters.
Okay, let's continue.
We're having fun though. We're having good fun. All right, game 2. I assume Braviary and Salamence. Dozo comes out. Tatsugiri, yep. That checks. Immediately intimidates. Cool Beans. T-Tar comes out, sets Sand.
Yep.
Immediate Terra. Goes for the Focus Energy. Order Up resists that time. Well, should have resisted the first time anyway. I wonder if he got a lucky crit. Draco, there's the crit. Aquatail just fucking nukes the Braviary. God damn.
Yeah. I mean, it also gets the boost, so.
Yep. And down goes. That was an amazing way to do that. That was good. Good leads, getting it up and out of the way right away. High horsepower, dealing a good chunk to Volk. Draco to fucking kill the... Oh, didn't kill the Luna. Lives at 4. Dies to Fire Blast. You did good, Mence. You did good. That still did a lot of fucking damage, dude. Blood Moon is such a powerful move.
Yeah. So I think here is probably just... Yeah, okay. Does get the kill, but should... Yeah. And then it...
Easy finish right there at the end with the Rock Slide.
Yeah. So S&B closes it out.
Okay, but there is something I wanted to mention here. Again, because apparently I just love flaming Dallas. He could have saved his differential here at the end. So, hold on, let me get back to it. He could have saved his differential here. Not that it really matters, but for the sake of statistics, all he needed to do was low kick the Ursaluna. Or no, he needed a high horsepower the Volcarona and then low kick. Yeah, high horsepower the Volcarona and then low kick the Ursaluna with T-Tar.
Yeah.
That's all he had to do.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really make it. It doesn't make a difference.
No.
Because they were just playing the game for fun.
I know. But save diff, goddammit.
It was for funsies. Okay. Anyways, next game.
Woo! God, these lives take so long when we have all the matches to do. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun.
And we got I get to have fun with this fight too. Eli, if you're watching this right now, know that you are about to get fucking flamed. However, for context,
No. This is my turn. It's my turn.
No, hold on, let me say something. For context, we did get clarification. There was a couple of things that, because like I said, we were all hanging out in Discord on Sunday because all these fights were happening like at the same time. So we were like, fuck it. We're just going to have a watch party. And so we were all just hanging out and we were watching the fights. So it was a good time. So we didn't know this going into the fights. We were talking our shit and be like, oh my God, what the fuck are we? No, what? Whatever, right? We didn't know that some of the things that had happened on Eli's team was because Blizzard had said, oh no, trust me, you don't need this. You need to do this instead. And it turns out that was a fucking lie. So poor Eli had not asked for any help throughout this entire season. And he was like, okay, I'm getting my cheeks clapped. I'm going to talk to Blizzard because he's not getting his cheeks clapped. We're going to clap. And then Blizzard was like, yes, here's what we're going to do. And it made sense. But it didn't make sense at the end of the day, which really you hate to see.
Yeah. In the end, Mirage was in the same boat as me, so it was already a lock. So in the end, it's not important.
Yeah.
As far as it goes for him. And then one more thing, just going into this, like the stakes, whatever. Like I've been talking a lot about like the stakes and stuff, just because it's like each game has some stuff riding on it because it's week 8, right before playoffs. So in this case, if Feeney loses 2-0, then he gets bumped down to the 4th seed, and Blizzard gets the 3rd seed. But if he wins either game, then he's even if he loses overall, if he wins either game,
Just one game,
then he gets the 3rd seed.
Yep. All right. With that being said, what do we have for Terras?
Get it all.
We got water, 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 water.
Water, water, water.
That was almost like that fucking week against Blizzard.
Yeah, for context, Blizzard brought a all Terra Water team last week against Jack. So
stupid. Okay. So Terra Water Goldango. Defensive. Like all of this stops Armor Rouge.
Yeah,
except for the Terra Steel.
A lot of these Terra types up top are just defensive Terras, except for I think everything is defensive except for
the Palafin,
which is just built to embody your entire team.
And then, the Terra Dark Wheezing is anti-prankster tech. Also mitigates damage from Armor Rouge, which is nice.
Neutralizing gas.
Okay. Terra Dragon on...
Terra Dragon is interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
The only Terra that I think makes sense here is the Terra Steel Grimmsnarl. Well, no, I guess there could be an argument for the Charcadet.
You can make arguments for a couple of them.
Fuck is this thing?
Like,
Armor.
I think again a lot of them are defensive. So except for that Gengar. So
what does Terra Water do for, like, specifically Terra Water? It doesn't block any of your weaknesses. It doesn't resist fighting. It doesn't resist. It resists fire, I guess. If he's running Terra Blast Fire Garchomp, I could see that. And yeah, these are just general defensive Terras, but I don't think they're very particular defensive Terras.
Well, I mean, it resists steel also, so that could be part. It could be part of.
But steel already resists steel.
Yeah, true.
It might just very well be just for the fire resist, but he doesn't even have any fire type mons. Ground?
It doesn't resist. Ground.
It's neutral, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I think the main part, like that was the main thing there. I think so. I don't think it's that bad of an idea. So
no, that's fair.
All right. Especially because you also get the water resistance on, like you now resist water on
and against Palafin.
So yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. All right. What do we got? Wheezing lead.
Also, for context, water actually does not do. It's neutral against steel. So
I know, but does no. I know. I was talking about does water resist ground because steel is weak to ground.
No, but I was talking about steel as in like it helps against that Palafin. So even more.
Oh, because no, steel already resists water.
No, it doesn't.
That's why fucking. I
No, it
thought that's
doesn't.
why fucking Azumarill couldn't do shit to like you send a steel type Pokemon and Azumarill shits its pants.
Yeah, because it's fairy type.
Right. But I thought that I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking. Okay.
Because you get bonked on the head by a steel type move and you die.
That's true. Oh, what the fuck just happened? That was a turn 1 play. What the fuck? That was fast. That was very fast. Hold on. Pause. Okay. Armarouge, Gengar, neutralizing gas. Foul play. Okay. The way my screen made it seem was that
triggering the weakness policy is very interesting.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't know. He wouldn't have known that. So
Right. Trick Room goes
that
up.
poison is a little brute. That poison is definitely the protect is interesting.
Oh wait. Interesting. Oh yeah. So protect. He's poisoned. He's at 14%. He has 2 more turns before he dies.
Okay. Does get that heat wave, big heat
Fat
wave,
heat wave.
Absolutely massive heat wave.
Snarl misses. So he has an extra fucking turn.
Okay, no,
he has an extra turn.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, so here, can you pause? So I know I'm assuming that he did that because I was like, oh, I don't want to get bonked to the forehead by Jet Punch from Palafin. The thing is, you're already gonna die to poison.
Yep.
So
he's gonna double into the Arcanine no matter what.
Zero reason to, because then you can you have a chance to get off in another attack on either using either monster. Like if it targets the Arcanine, then the Armarouge gets an attack off, and then if it targets the Armarouge, then the Arcanine gets an attack off.
Yep.
So that was not a good play at all.
Yeah, that thing was dying. That thing was dying no matter what, and it did. That's exactly what it did.
Yeah. And then it's down to just
a baby Gengar and a baby Swampert. Does get the kill on Scrafty. Yeah. Nice Thunderbolt into Palafin though. That's huge.
Yeah, and then it does come out, but it's gonna Jet Punch should still do enough to kill the. Yeah, there you go.
Rude ass burn.
Will-O-Wisp just to rub it in.
Save diff.
And yeah,
wide guard, because what else do you click? So Feeney takes game 1.
Yeah, and with that, Feeney is locked in for the third seed. So we will watch.
Huh? I know what I'm thinking of. I know what I was getting confused. I wasn't getting confused on a Azumarill into a steel type. It was fucking I was thinking of the other day when I had mentioned Tinted Lens Primarina.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
And I know that doesn't sound like it has any correlation, but that's the water fairy versus steel interaction that I was thinking of. And I was like, liquid void. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm retarded. Anyway.
Okay.
Game.
So at this point, it doesn't matter, but we'll still cover them because cover.
Nah, fuck it. We're gonna end the stream right now. Done. Doesn't matter.
No. Yep. Okay.
Bye. See you in finals.
See you guys for the finals. No. Okay. So,
Gengar and Armarouge leading off against a Weezing and a Dango. Got the immediate Terra Water.
Very definitely a smart idea there. I don't. Okay. Pause it again.
I think he thought he was going to go for a turn 1 nasty plot.
Well,
but
no, because he did go for a turn 1 nasty plot. He thought he was going to go for a turn 1 nasty plot.
But for him,
but he was absolutely correct. And which is why it's stupid, because Gengar is guaranteed to be faster than Goldango.
You can fucking you hover over it and it says 103 to 178, 80 to 149. Assuming he's not spec'd or
assuming that it's a scarfed Gengar that did assuming that's a sash Gengar with high speed high speed, it should always outspeed Goldango, which is why you should never haze in this case.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Unless that Goldango was
Because
running,
it's not going to do anything because it's faster.
yeah. Unless
So-
that Goldango was running Choice Scarf, you weren't gonna outspeed.
Nah, guys, Goldango gets prankster. They've been lying to you all the time, all along.
They have my bad.
Okay, yeah, and then that taunt comes out and
Shuts down Trick Room, which is fucked. Finally, the haze.
Now the haze comes out. but
Another nasty
it
plot.
just-
Now you can't haze. And you know what's crazy? If you would have just clicked Thunderbolt twice, that Goldango would have been dead.
Yep.
I told him that sometimes all you gotta do is just click the button. Just click the
Sometimes
button.
in life, it still might not make a difference because the Goldango just wants to get bigger.
Yep.
So, and it does get the
It does
kill.
go down though, so it did work out in the end. Woo! Sludge
But yeah.
wave.
So it should still do a good chunk of damage to like everything from now on. So except that's Terra Stellar, so it doesn't get as much of a buff now.
Right.
Big sad.
Let me knock off the
sash.
the sludge bomb to finish it off though, so that was a good double into it.
Yeah.
Flare Blitz. Oh, dude, there's so many Pokemon living attacks that they just shouldn't live. The 2%, the 1%, the 4%.
Now the question is, can the Weezing hold on? Can the Weezing hold the line?
How about no?
No.
I got on my terms.
Sludge Bomb obviously going into the Arcanine, but,
But it
still
didn't
kind of funny.
matter.
Still kind of funny to see it into the Gambit. Okay, so we do go to a game 3.
We
So
do go to game 3. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got?
the game 3
Pally,
that does not matter
Wheezy.
at all.
Arky versus Grimmy. Fake out into the Scrafty. Very nice. Wild Charge. Interesting. I mean, I get it because Palafin. But I wonder if he expected a double there.
Yeah, because
But I mean, you got Fake out. I'm going to fucking hit it.
I need a hero. Hero.
Out comes Gambit. Fatty Sludge Wave, but not a Fatty Sludge, Wave.
does
Is there-
absolutely nothing.
I really want to know the fucking special attack investment into this, because if you're running Stellar Terra and you don't have
Yeah.
max special attack,
If you're running Focus Sash without max special
Yeah.
attack, that's interesting.
'Cause
That would be very interesting.
as I'm sorry, Gengar has a fucking nice special attack.
On a Focus Sash mon, like unless it's like Smeargle or something else, like with my Smeargle, I always run max speed, max HP.
And
but,
I know I know what I can almost guarantee you that's a fucking Assault Vest Scrafty. And I know Weezing's got some oomph.
Yeah.
But the fact that they only did 20 and 22% damage, that's just, it does not seem right. I don't think that Gengar was.
I don't know. We can
ask him for the paste later. Unfortunately,
ask him
you
later.
guys watching the live will never know.
Yeah, because you guys are stupid. Yeah, I feel like the Thunderbolt should have done more, so it might not be
That Drain Punch was
max.
fucking fat.
Yeah. That does a lot of damage, damn.
Yeah.
Will-O-Wisp missing is a little annoying.
Yeah, it really is. At least to buy his time for the Gambit. It goes on the Taunt and the Grimmsnarl, who can't. T-Wave. Does protect the Drain Punch. Very nice. Will-O-Wisp.
Okay. Wa did send a calc for so
252 special attack Gengar, Sludge Wave versus 252.
yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be it's not gonna be max special defense. I don't think.
I think it was just Assfest, because even with max special defense, that's a lower roll than what we. Yeah, I did 22%. So some special defense
Yeah.
investment, we'll call it, because an Assfest Gives you a 50%.
Well, this is max special attack versus max special defense.
Right.
So,
which means
is
you
that
could assume.
Can I ask if that's a calc using AV or without AV or?
Scrafty is just fat.
Indeed. But just let us know if that's with or without assault vest, because that would definitely be.
No, I think the is just fat comment was saying that was no ass fest. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it is okay, so that it might actually be max special attack.
But I don't think it is, because that calculation is showing 23 to 27%. That did 22.
Well, that's without assault vest. It probably has assault vest. So if it has
assault vest and then just a couple of extra EVs, leftover EVs into SPDEF.
Look at that. So it does absolutely nothing.
Careful AV with no investment. 33. 90. Okay, so that's what that looks like. That looks like he got like a mid roll.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we could just keep going.
Yeah. Okay, so Gengar was built right, but he was just fucking. It just didn't deal the damage. That's crazy. Yeah, Scrafty's fat. Good Terra though to start mitigating the damage from that Scrafty. Unfortunately, however, you have two Pokemon at below 30% health against a Palafin. Good Kowtow. Oh, wrong slot. Never mind. I swear when the animation started, it was going towards Scrafty, and I lied.
Not good.
Fake out. No, it didn't do anything. Does get the Paraflinch. And down goes Fable. Down goes. Oh, the Gambit lives on the 3.
The Gambit lives. But not anymore.
No longer.
Yeah, good. And then just a good way to close it out. And even the Grimmsnarl's not really going to be able to do anything.
Grimmsnarl, unfortunately, doesn't have any attacking moves because Blizzard told him that Thunder Wave would be better than Parting Shot. And then he also told him that he should run, what was it? Fake Out instead of Spirit Break. And there was at least 2 times where the Scrafty was not a water type that a Spirit Break would have been fucking fat.
Yeah. I mean, Fake Out's a good support move overall.
Is.
I think it's like it's more mainly geared towards like Grimmsnarl is more mainly geared towards support, so I think so it could have actually Fake Out could have been better. I think Parting Shot versus Thunder Wave, it depends on what you want to do, because if you can get screens up enough, then that's essentially doing what like this sort of the same general thing as Parting Shot.
That's fair.
So
that's
it depends on if you
but
want
that requires
to continuously
2 move slots.
It depends on if you want to just continuously like debuff them and be able to like switch out, or if you want to or if you're already satisfied with the like with the reflect in the light screen, so that you can go for the para, which is gonna do.
And I'm not trying to say that not running any single attack moves is bad.
Either would have worked.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that running 0 attack moves is bad, because I mean, fuck, I got fucked on by a Volbeat that didn't have a single attacking move.
Yep. Yes. Yes, you did.
And somebody else got fucked on. Yeah, like it's gonna happen, and it can work. I've ran a 0 attacking.
And my
before.
My Smeargle's only attacking move was Fake Out. So
yeah, same principle.
And it was a minimum attack because of foul play. So
nice.
It's like I don't even know if he learned anything if he had any mods with foul play, but I was like, might as well, because it's not gonna do any damage anyways. But it's okay. Okay.
If I had to guess anything learned foul play, it would be Armor Rouge.
The final set.
This is the most important one.
Okay, this is by far the most important set.
Because of how Rick's fight went.
Okay, so I'm going to explain how this works going into it. Up until now, everything is set. So unfortunately, by this point, the 3 teams that have already been eliminated from the playoffs are Jack, SNB, and you. Unfortunately, Spam. So
We're chilling.
RIP.
We're chilling.
And then there's six players that have already locked in playoff spots. So that is Mirage, myself, Blizzard, Mr. Feeney, Watt, and Saline. And at this point, there's 2 spots left in the playoffs and 3 people remaining. It's Rick, Solo, and Bozy. And 2 of them are playing in this match. And Rick is leaving it up to fate. So how this works is if both players currently playing are playing for at least 1 win. If they can get 1 win out of any of the games, even if they lose overall, as long as they don't lose 2-0, then they're in. So if both of them win at least 1 game, then they're both in. If one of them wins 2 games and the other one's 0, the person who wins moves on, and Rick moves on. So Rick is praying for a sweep, and both of the players currently playing are praying for at least 1 win.
They both need to win 1. Yep.
Yes.
Which they could have been bastards and just colluded ahead of time. Like, hey, I'll throw game 1,
that's
you throw game 2.
That's kind of a bitch move. Though,
But
so.
they didn't, and we have nothing but respect for them for not doing that, because if you do that, A, you're a piece of shit, and B, I'm going to kick you the fuck out of my league.
Yay! Okay, so let's get into it.
This is it. This one's for, and it was so cool having all of the bets hedging on this one fight, because it was the last fucking fight of postseason, or regular season. So we were like, there was so much hype around it.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
Okay.
1 second.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Let's do it. What do we got for Terras? Terra fighting on the monkey. Actually, I'm going to let you take this for a second. I'll be right back.
Here, I'll just start explaining the Terras. So, on the monkey, we've got Terra fighting. So, I think probably just if he has some sort of like fighting type attack, like close combat or whatever, just gets that stab on that. Then obviously, so we got the Terra Water Primarina, which with Liquid Voice just shreds through literally everything. Terra Dark Sneasler. I think that's mainly for. That might be defensive partially. I don't know the exact reason for that, but it could be stab. It could be stab for one of his coverage moves. So then we got the Terra Fairy, which Porygon 2 can run literally any Terra and it'll still be good, especially because it has access to Terra Blast and it's just it's insane. Then the Terra Ice Gastrodon, probably to it gets rid of that quad weakness to grass, which is its only actual weakness, but it could also be like it doesn't do a ton, but it could also be like icy wind stab or whatever. And then we got the Terra Stellar Cinderace, which is just it's just gonna be full of coverage moves, so I think that actually makes a good bit of sense. Okay, so now Solo's Terras, we got Terra Ghost on the Ursaluna, which it can use that to just avoid any fighting type move coming its way by maybe the Ambipom and the Sneasler. And then the Terra Fairy, maybe stab on like Dazzling Gleam or Strange Steam. And yeah, so then it also just drops some of its weaknesses. Then Terra Ground stab with Toad Scroll, which I think is interesting. And we got the Terra Flying Electivire, which is, I'm assuming, for Earthquake. So he can Earthquake with the Ursaluna and then still be able to bonk something on the forehead with Electivire. Yeah, and then we got the Terra Poison Zoroark, which I'm assuming is just like defensive. It's simple as that. And then same deal with the Terra Steel Gliscor.
I'm back.
Perfect timing. I just covered all of them.
Nice. Cool. They all look good. Next. What do we got for
Yes.
leads? We got Porygon and the Monkey versus the Bear and
Okay.
I love the name Mulch,
I want
by
to
the
explain
way.
one thing. I want to explain one thing. Huh?
I love the nickname of the Ursaluna, Mulch.
Yeah, mulch. Okay. One thing I want to explain. So I did help Solo a little bit with some prep, and he was like, so he was asking me, so what should I lead in the games? And I was like, okay, you're playing for one win. I think Weezing, in this matchup is really solid. So I think you should bring Weezing in the back. I think you should lead with like I think you should start with like Zoroark and Toadschool because it gives you a lot of flexibility. So like if he tries to go for the fake out into the Ursaluna, you can just ignore that because it's actually a Zoroark. And then if you want to, you can switch into the like the Pre-Marine is out, you can get rid of that Liquid Voice by switching into Weezing and then hitting something with a Spore with Toadscroll, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. So
That makes sense.
but they decided to lead this, and I was like, it's very interesting, especially seeing that Gliscor gets bonked in the forehead by any Ice type move. So
Yeah.
which we might just see in a minute.
What?
So taunting the Ambipom was interesting.
Bink! Bink!
So he took my advice with the Zoroark, but
That was about it. And then down. Double ice moves. And look what we got.
And this is what confused me.
We have another weakness to ice.
This is what that's fine. This is what confused me. He didn't bring the Weezing, but he brought the Toadscroll.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bring Toadscroll, you
need to
should bring Weezing.
Because it gets rid of the mycelium.
Especially because against
base 350 speed or max 350
like
speed?
again
Oh,
it deletes Libra with Cinderace. It deletes
Liquid Voice.
it deletes Technician Ambipom.
Yep. It gets rid of yeah.
Gets rid of Liquid Voice. It gets rid of a lot of good abilities on his side.
Yeah.
So I don't and the bad abilities on your side. So
right.
So yeah, so that I found interesting. So
That is interesting.
So yeah, let's continue.
Does hit protect into
So
the oncoming ice.
That was good. That was good.
Good Spore.
And then that was a good Spore. That was a good Spore.
Trick Room goes up. At least Guts is still activated. Zuckerberg lives.
Yes. Oh, the fact that the Primarina lives, that is so. That was probably a roll.
Okay, I like Body Slam.
That would have been really. That would have been really bad. That would have been really bad for Bozy. I don't think it would have been too bad, but being able to get off an attack with the Primarina is.
Why are we running
brutal.
Body Slam on Guts or Saluna when Facade exists?
Yeah, Facade.
I get it. 30%
Facade in
chance
this case is just much better.
Yes.
Facade in this case is just so much better, especially on Ursaluna. So I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't run that. So unless he did and he just clicked on a
different one.
Body Slam just cause. And then we got we all saw this coming. So and then it's a 1 versus 4.
Down goes the bear.
Yeah, and so Bozy locks in his playoff spot immediately in that first game within a couple turns. Really convincing win.
Oh yeah.
So So with that, now this next game, game 3 does not matter whatsoever. Game 2 matters. Is the only game that actually matters because if Solo wins, then he makes it on instead of Rick, and if Bozy is able to pull out a second win to win the set, then
go up.
Then Rick will be able to advance.
Yep.
So Rick is just sitting in the background playing, and praying, and Solo is is sitting behind his computer playing. So let's go. Let's get into this this deciding game.
We got game 2. Best of 3, baby. Let's do this. All right. Last set.
Last set. Last chance for Solo to pull
it off. Yep.
Okay. And this was the first mistake.
Bink.
Nothing. Half health. In this case, I think Thunder Punch would have been the better move to run there. That was a good Terra, very good Terra.
You want to
Rain
watch
Dance
me do it
does
again?
Come out.
Good freeze.
The freeze, really clutch freeze. Bitter Malice. So now we know that that's the Zoroark.
Yep. But at least he hasn't.
I think he probably could have gone into the Porygon 2 instead because of the freeze. That might have helped him a little bit.
Remember
that. But yeah, because
two Supercell slams.
So here, pause it. So I think the reason that happened was if you scroll back up,
see that when
you'll notice that in turn 1, I believe, well, even before turn 1 actually.
Yeah.
So Porygon 2 traces the motor drive from the Electivire, which makes it immune to electric type moves.
Which means Supercell slam.
Solo didn't notice it, which meant when he Supercell slammed the Porygon 2, it failed.
Yep.
Which did more. So Solo essentially brought his own Electivire down to 1%.
But that means that his HP EV investment was an odd number.
It does mean it was an odd number.
It was an odd number, so he lived an extra turn.
He lived an extra turn because of his EVs.
Dies to fake out. Or not fake out.
Not fake out.
Yeah.
Hyper Force.
I don't know why I said fake out.
And again, pause. This is the
no
second game
wheezing
with no wheezing and Toadscruel.
Yep. It was the same. For.
I think.
I guess
so. That's very interesting. And then if we go ahead.
Yeah. There's the fake out.
Fake out just absolutely
so much fucking damage.
So much damage. And now it's inevitable. It's Ursaluna versus
the world in this fucking rude ass triple axle.
Yep. Finishes it off.
Bosey clenches.
Bosey makes it on.
And Rick makes it. Solo, unfortunately, you're down at the bottom with us, buddy. We welcome you with open arms. Yeah. It's pretty comfy down here.
But yeah, so I think they're wheezing. I think the big thing was him not bringing wheezing. I think that would have made things a lot easier for him, especially because that Primarina just hits like a truck.
Yep.
With liquid voice, and it does almost nothing otherwise. Well, not almost nothing, but it loses stab, and it also loses.
You're relying on just the rain.
It loses It loses the double stab from Terra Water.
The third stab from Liquid Voice is what we're worried about here.
It's one stab for it makes it stab with Liquid Voice.
Basically, this Primarina has
so much Primarina without Liquid Voice. It does so much less.
Well, hold on.
So much.
Let's put this into perspective here. You have a Pokemon using a water type move. Cool. Damage. Now you have a water type Pokemon using a water type move. Cool. Extra damage. Now you have a water type in the rain using a water type move. So now we have extra damage. And then that water type in the rain, Terra Watered. That is fucking 4 stacks of bonuses on this Primarina.
Let's just say it's a lot of bonuses.
It's a lot of fucking damage.
Which all just get deleted by getting rid of.
That's all you had to do. Yep.
So yeah. So unfortunate for Solo. Is not able to make it on. But congrats to both Bozy and Rick for clinching spots in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
That means
let's do Fields of
Okay.
Punishment and Elysium first.
So personally,
Yeah.
I know I didn't play that great, but I also that second game there was literally nothing I could do. Like literally nothing I could do.
Okay, I think this is a pretty easy decision on my part.
Okay.
So we had a couple of bad sets. So like yours was I think you that first game was a little interesting, but that second game you literally could not do anything.
Nope.
Blizzard played really well that set. So yeah, I don't think you deserve it. So in that case, I think in the end it comes down to, in my opinion, Mirage and Solo, because even though Wah and Rick both lost, and then Jack and S&B were just having fun. Even though Wah and Rick both lost, they both were able to pick up decent games, and Rick was able with that one win, he was able to, like, he would not have been able to make the playoffs without that one win.
Bozy also didn't lose a single mon.
Yeah, so Mirage he was able to pull out one win, but he didn't really have
the matches were sloppy.
He had a lot. It was really sloppy.
The protected the 2 HP,
the protected poison protect was bad. The some of the stuff in that last game was pretty bad.
Now, here's what I will say in that notion.
But it's just,
I think the prep was there. I think for Eli, the prep was there. He had decent prep. He knew what he was doing. It just came down to the stress of the moment, and he fumbled the fight. It happens.
Yeah.
However,
okay.
Solo also had really good prep. You helped him with the prep. There was a plan.
Yeah.
There is a clear, when you have the two Pokemon that you have in Weezing and Toedscruel, it doesn't matter. That is your game plan.
Yeah.
Failing to utilize the game plan.
Yeah, that's what kind of locks it up, because again, like, Mirage was able to claw back and win game 2.
Yep.
Which was definitely a bonus, even though there was some misplay at the beginning of that game with the hazing before the the nasty plot. But like, you look at Solo's game, you see the, like, I think if he had brought Weezing and still lost 8-0 in Mons, I think it would have been different. He probably still would have ended up here. But with losing 8-0 when you have Weezing in the back is the most disappointing part for me, because
it was just pre-marina.
He had a way to deal with it. Yep. And because with that Ambipom, it would have done much less damage also, because it's probably Technician.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that for real. That I genuinely think just the lack of bringing Weezing.
And then the Trace wouldn't have picked up on Motor Drive.
Nope.
There's a lot of things that wouldn't have happened if the abilities were just gone.
I agree.
And I think, that's why I think, unfortunately, Solo should end up in Fields.
All right, I can agree with that. That was going to be you said it the same. I was also going to vote for Eli and Solo as the toss up. I hate having to make this decision. I know you guys know we don't think of you as bad players. We're not. Yeah, the whole point of this is to not shame you into thinking that you're bad and you played like dog shit and you should never touch the game again. No, absolutely not. It's just it's a constructive criticism.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to make sure that
of course,
you guys know, like,
getting the constructive criticism means you are being condemned to hell because, Fields of Punishment. But
we'll ignore that.
We just skirt right past that.
We don't talk about it. Okay. But yeah.
On to Elysium.
Yeah. So this part's interesting because we had a lot of solid games. I'm not going to give it to myself. Because yeah, like, it was like I was mainly just trying to go for the goofs.
Yeah. However, I will
I think
say
there's
you
a.
played into the gimmicks very well, and he
I did.
that's that
I think
second
I,
game.
yeah,
That
I
second
think I
game,
did
he
pretty
figured
well,
you
but
out.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna give it to myself though. Because I think they were better. I think relative, like even though Wad did have had a is second seed now, I think there definitely was stuff that I could have done a little bit better. There was stuff that he could have done a little bit better.
That's fair.
So I think all around it was just solid set by both of us, and I just happened to come out on top. So
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. You both played well.
and it also didn't really matter as much as some of these other matches. That said, SNB. No, I'm joking. But yeah. So I think for me, honestly, I'm gonna make some shout outs. I don't think there's any really clear option. I am going to say that even though Rick lost,
We don't have to. We do not have to send anyone to Elysium. It's just it's more
no,
common to send someone.
I feel like someone deserves to go there.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
It just depends on what. I'll ask you about this later, but it depends on like what you think is more impressive. So I do want to give a shout to Rick for because like even like pulling out one game to clinch playoffs against a really good player. So
Yeah.
that was pretty essential. So like I do want to shout out that even though he lost that set. But yeah, so and I think it's between Blizzard and Bosie because even though Solo did not play
You know what?
into his strategies, like Bosie it was just so unbelievably dominant that because even if it was if he had done anything differently, he would have lost a couple mons.
And
at
do you
least.
know what's fucking crazy about all of this?
Yeah.
Again, I don't like crediting a sweep where when credit doesn't deserve to be due because sweeps are very very. And I feel like I bring this up every week because there's always a fucking sweep. But he built this team in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was.
And didn't lose a single fucking Pokemon. That's pretty fucking impressive. To sit there, you have 5 minutes, you look at a team and go, okay, I got it. I figured it out. Pen to paper, win the game, fucking flawless.
Yeah. So I do want to shout out Blizzard because he played even though it wasn't important in the end, he did play a really
that game 2 was crazy.
Really clean set.
Yes, he did. It sucks that I was at the opposite end of it.
I'm going to shout out him, but I think the fact that Bosie was able to pull off such a dominant game under pressure or under as much pressure as you can be with a team built in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Even though it was pretty similar sets to what he's been bringing.
Tried and true.
8-0 on the bubble. 5 minutes. It's nuts.
While
So
clenching your spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he
deserves it. Well, congratulations, Bosie. You have won Elysium for week 8 of the ODL VGC season 1. Congratulations, sir. This is the last Elysium we're going to receive. There is no Fields of Punishment or Elysium during finals. Obviously, you make it to Elysium by fucking winning and claiming the crown.
Okay.
So,
with that said,
we have one more thing to get into. Yep, I got to do one thing because I'm going to have to reformat this. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to have to change the scene really quick. I got to... Yeah, fuck it. You guys actually might see me just figure this out. Yeah, you guys are going to have to watch. So let me... This is going to look like shit for a second, guys. Bear with me. You're not going to see what you should be seeing. Okay, that's Discord. I don't want Discord. I want... Where the fuck? So, I'm confused because it's not actually pulling up this window. I can capture that one? I can capture that one. Oh, there it is. I'm an idiot. Haha.
Yay!
Does that look okay on the screen? No, I gotta reshape that. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bear with me, boys. I'm working on it. Do 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 do.
It's very painful to watch.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right.
Stupid. But yeah, so this is the official bracket for playoffs.
Yep.
So we went through, and the first seed, Saline, decided to pick, because again, we go down the line, and the top seeds get to pick who they play against instead of having first play 8th and like second play 7th.
Yeah.
So Saline interestingly decided to play against Bozy.
Because they hadn't fought at all during the regular
They
season.
hadn't fought at all, even though Bozy
What a
might be
fucking
very,
Chad.
very, very threatening. And then Wah decided to play Rick. So Rick is the 8th seed, I believe.
Yep.
And another funny thing I want to address is that Wah spun a dice to determine who he played.
It's true.
So
and so did was it Feeney? Oh no, Blizzard said
I think
I'll
Feeney,
do it.
Feeney just picked.
Yeah.
So Feeney decided to pick me. So I'm the 5 seed.
And then Blizzard got stuck with
So-
Emma.
And Blizzard got stuck with Mirage. So we're gonna have some interesting quarterfinal matchups. And again, I want to preface that whoever wins in the quarterfinals, they will be reseeded for semifinals. So if the teams that make it on are, let's say, Saline, Wah, Mr. Feeney, and Mirage, it's going to be reordered so that Saline plays Mirage because they're the
Opposite seed.
lowest and the lowest and the highest seeds, and then Wah and Mr. Feeney would play each other. And then we do also have a consolation third place match for the losers in the semifinals.
You can clench your third place spot. It's not just 1 and 2 because we didn't do that in the previous season, and I really wanted to. So I really appreciate you implementing the consolation bracket, just the bracket in general. By the way, for everyone that's watching, I just wanted to publicly give the hugest shout out in the world to Charcoal because we would not have this sheet without him.
Oh, stop!
Like we had a sheet and it was functional, but it wasn't the most functional, and now it's the easiest fucking thing in the world to use. So thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
No problem.
We wouldn't have this beautifulness.
It was my pleasure.
So yeah, this is. Oh, also we're gonna have. You can't really, like, if you look under the Phalanx League Season 1 champion, you'll see a little tab where it says Finals MVP. This is not your team's MVP. This is the MVP of the finals, right? Or is
yes.
it your team's MVP?
This is the MVP in the finals.
Okay. The Pokemon that made sure you won.
Yeah, so whichever Pokemon in the finals gives the best showing, and we could probably determine it alongside whoever wins. But it shouldn't be if Blizzard wins it all, it shouldn't be
just immediately Archaludon.
It shouldn't be Archaludon because it's been popping off for him all season. It should be whichever one.
What was enabling it to pop off?
The set, maybe he did a lot of really good things with Volbeat and setting up with
just the perfect positioning and bringing it in
to switch it. Maybe to switch into Archaludon with boosted stats using Baton Pass.
It's going to be situational.
Give it to Volbeat. So it's going to be very situational, which I think is a little bit nice because it gives a chance to those mons that maybe aren't as previewed in the MVP race.
Oh, we do have one more thing I wanted to go over.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad you said MVP race as my brain was thinking about it. Okay, so let's minimize this a little bit. We're just gonna try to full screen this bitch. All right, and then that's all it's gonna give me, huh? I guess I could do this.
That should be all right.
Yeah, okay. Let me line it up. MVP race, unfortunately.
Yeah. So regular season, we had a lot of really solid performances. So here, should we just go ahead and highlight like the top 10?
Top 10 works for me.
Top 10 makes sense. So yes, we got so these are all ordered by kills, so you won't actually see your support mons, which will be covered by finals MVP, and we could also cover them a little bit later. But these are like the most impactful Pokemon that we've seen in the
League so far.
across the league. So in 10th, we've got Palafin, which has put in insanely incredible work for Mr. Feeney's team, totaling out 13 kills with only 2 deaths, which is the lowest amount of deaths among the top 10.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
even the top even past that, like I'm pretty sure the only the next Pokemon with only 2 deaths is 23rd, and that's Komodo.
And how many games?
So,
How many games did Como come to?
Komodo only came to 5 games.
5 games, lost 2 of
Whereas-
them. Palafin came to 7 and lost 2. That's fucking crazy. Or not lost, but died. Yeah, that's really good. And then next in the number 9 slot, we have Saleen's Hisuian Arcanine. Came to 5 games, got 14 kills and 6 deaths. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and so that was really good. And then we got Solo's Ursaluna. And I do want to say that 2 of those games were the 2 games that the Ursaluna did not come to were forfeits.
Yep.
So it
came
more.
to every game.
It did get a lot of deaths, but it did come with the most deaths in the top 10. But I think part of that was because it's such a big threat that
It's just going to get targeted
immediately. Yeah. So yeah.
Unlike Palafin, where you have that versatility, it's one of those mons that likes to be pivoted in and out constantly.
Exactly.
Ursaluna likes to come in, stick, and just fucking deal chunky damage. And then now we got Tyranitar from Mr. S&B Gaming. Brought 7 games, 15 kills, and 15 kills and 7 deaths. I was reading the Ursaluna line again.
Yeah. And I think that actually tied in like the combo between, although it wasn't really highlighted as much because S&B was only able to get 2 wins. It's good to highlight this, especially because it worked really closely with the Excadrill also, which did also end up with 8 kills, 8 deaths. So even though it was net neutral, it worked. They worked in tandem really well.
Good little combo up top, yeah. And then we've got this fucking Torkoal.
Absolute monstrosity. It's 15
Its
kills,
best
4 deaths.
For context, it has 15 kills. 8 of those kills were in one set.
Yeah.
Half of those kills were in one week. That's fucking... Was it against me? It was against me too, wasn't it? Motherfucker! All because I didn't close combat that fucking Torkoal and I close combated the Lilligant. Son of a bitch.
Absolutely insane, but definitely the MVP of Saleen's team, even though it was very closely supported by that Lilligant, and he also managed to get a ton of damage in with that Hisuian Arcanine at 9th, which is pretty funny because it's 6'9", so
yes. And then
very, very comical stuff.
Top 5. These are the bitches that did the most.
And it's nice to note that every single one of these mons is double-digit differentials and over 20 kills.
Yep.
Which is absolutely absurd. So, yeah.
Starting off at the bottom, we've got, last but not least, Goldango from Mr. Feeney. Brought 7 games, 22 kills, 11 deaths, a nice 1-to-1 ratio. Or 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, which is still nuts. Like, like
That's-
that Goldango was putting in work. It's the reason. It's the reason that it beat me week 5.
Oh, yeah.
It's the reason. It's the reason that Mr. Feeney's been winning so much alongside that Palafin.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So
And
but
then me, I made the top 5, even though I fucking am in the bottom 4.
yeah, I do want to mention. It is not Annihilape's fault that Spam is in the bottom 4.
It
It's
is.
Spam's fault.
It's
And
definitely
Spam's
Spam's
It is
fault.
Spam's fault for running Vital Spirit Rest.
Bro, I'm so I don't know how the fuck I didn't check that. Like, of all the things to not check, that's
For
the
con-
one. That's
For
the one.
context- For context, check the meme archive and check
Just
his
check.
replay.
Fuck you.
check his
Don't look at the replay.
No,
Just-
you have to
just
look at
don't
the
watch-
replays. I think it was against Jack. I think it was Jack's only win, right?
It was, and because I would have had that fight if I had Defiant. That would have been an easy dub right there.
So
But I
yeah,
fucked it.
definitely number 1 game to rewatch. So go do that after
Nope.
do that after
You
this.
should rewatch the week 1 when I actually beat the shit out
Yeah,
of Charcoal.
anyways, I'm shut up. You're not in the playoffs.
That's okay. I got a season to prep.
Good for you, man. But yeah, so then I got top 3, which I'm pretty happy about.
Huge.
Except for the fact that Pre-Marina passed me in the last game because it just popped off.
7 games,
And
24
it's
kills,
all-
6
and
deaths.
it's all Solo's fault. No, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. But I was very impressed with it. Especially because that spot would have been Garchomp otherwise.
Right.
So until Feeney stole it from me,
Ooh.
I still will never forgive him. And I will get my revenge this week.
Yep.
I'm very glad he picked me. That, and I was also very scared of Blizzard. So
Chalk that one off.
so yeah. Let's just say, like, I think he knows this already. Garchomp is gonna get bodied.
I don't care if I lose, but I'm killing Garchomp. But also, I'm gonna win.
No, I do care if I lose,
No,
but
I don't.
Garchomp will die. But he knows this. He knows this already. So
It doesn't bring Garchomp.
that would actually be really funny.
And then
But it would probably benefit me a little bit. So
then we have Primarina clenching the number 2 spot. Brought only 5 games. It took 24 bodies. It only died 5 times. And one of those games, it didn't have Liquid Voice.
yeah, and I mean, the net, like, it was only brought to 5 games, and the next mon to only bring 4 to be brought less games than it was 27th, which was Oranguru, which is mainly just for support.
Yep.
And being able, like, that is, I'm pretty sure the highest. I'm pretty sure that is the highest kills per game
Average,
ratio in the league.
Yep.
Which is super insane.
Considering
And
the
with
fucking
only-
record
with
that
only-
Archaludon has.
with only 5 deaths, but that still brings us to Archaludon, the MVP of the league. Or
Brought
of the
every
regu-
single
of the
game.
of the regular season. It was brought every single game for good reason.
For good reason.
Averaged one death per game, which was actually the same as the Pre-Marina. I do want to say that Baxcalibur did have less deaths per game than both Pre-Marina and Archaludon. I just want to say that. We'll ignore the Torkoal and the Palafin, but yeah. But Archaludon, for good reason. It's by far the best Pokemon on Blizzard's team. Literally just annihilates everything.
And he has a team to back it up.
3 disgusting abilities. a team to back it up. Like it's insane. Like its move pool is insane. Its typing is insane. Everything about it is wild.
It's crazy.
We have even more memes about it in the in the meme channel.
Hermes'
But
meme
yeah,
emporium.
it's well deserved.
Oh yeah.
I am kind of regretting not taking it in the first round. And I bet the 5 people who drafted ahead of Blizzard are kind of regretting that
Fucking
as well.
pinching their toes, yeah.
But I do think that Blizzard is probably the best player to work around this, especially because you need such a specific team to make it work.
And he did get that team.
And he pulled it off really well.
Yep.
It brought him to top 4 with a 3-game win streak ending the season. So
Hell yeah. Alrighty, folks, that is gonna do it for us tonight. That was a fucking long stream. Hell yeah, good shit.
Yes, it was.
There is going to be a brief lapse in streams / YouTube uploads in the oncoming weeks. Like I said, we're not going to go over a weekly. We're not going to do a weekly recap until finals are done. So it's going to be one big super stream. That one's probably also going to be really fucking long.
Yeah. Rumor has it there's going to be 2 bonus commentators.
Rumor has it. Yeah.
Am I one of them?
I don't know. We have to wait for the rumors to fucking come to fruition.
The rumors have to trickle in.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everybody who participated. Thank you for everybody who has watched and joined in and had all of the fun with us. It has been a blast, and I cannot wait to see all of you again for the stream for the finals. And then here soon, we should be kickstarting Season 2. We might even be able to kickstart Season 2 of the VGC League, although I don't know if it's going to be a VGC League next season. I heard Blizzard say he might just want to do regular doubles. Either way, we have now officially a doubles league and a singles league. So, ideally, we can get those running up in tandem. Also, this would be a good time to highlight, we are going to be working on a separate Twitch. There is going to be a Twitch for the singles division, and there's going to be a Twitch for the doubles division. I am only one man. I would love to be able to stream everything, but unfortunately, I cannot. As Blizzard is the one heading the doubles league, he will be the one taking over the doubles Twitch, but all of those videos will find themselves uploaded to the YouTube at the end of the week. So, every battle will be covered, every battle will be showcased, and we'll have access to everything. And I think it's going to be fun.
Yippee.
Anything to close, buddy?
Nothing much. Just try to wish everyone luck going into playoffs. It's going to be a very interesting period of time.
It is.
Yeah. Especially me because I'm the best. No, I'm joking.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, make sure. It's gonna be an interesting time, but we'll be able to cover all these games or all these sets in the end. It's gonna be a very, very cool,
very fun little session. All right, everybody. That's gonna be it. Thank you all for coming out. And I forgot to say the thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, even though it's the end of the fucking video. It's a 2-hour stream. I doubt anybody's going to hear these words. But please, if you are hearing this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, and then follow us on Twitch to get the updates for when we go live, to catch our replays if you're into that. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.
Adios, mi amigos.